All right. This will be the first video in Residential Drawing 2, and I hope you have had a pleasant holiday break and ready to jump right in because it's going to be fast and furious. I kid you not. Um, as I'm giving you the project with the walls already in place. Okay. I figured you probably built enough walls last semester that you feel pretty good about building walls, hopefully. Uh, but this house is a little bit different, uh, as you can see when you're looking through the plans. Um, we got some typical foundation walls here, okay, and then the garage foundation walls. But across the back of the house, we've got stepped foundations and then a stepped finish wall. And we haven't done any of those in the previous class, so I wanted to show you how these things work. Okay, and if you'll look at your basement, your foundation plan, sheet A3, you can see across the back of the house you've got a stud framed wall, and across the front you've got poured concrete walls. But if you look at the wall sections on sheet A7, um, you'll see that, like wall section at kitchen and at great room, the poured foundation wall, the top of it is like 1.5 inches below the top of the basement slab. Okay, so that just makes it a little different. You have to kind of work from that basement slab down, or as I did, I worked from the first floor elevation down. Okay, now if you look at sheet A1, which is elevations, and if you look at the right side elevation, that's what you'll see on this side of the screen right here where my mouse is moving. You can see how the foundation wall steps down and then the footing steps down. Okay, uh, and this wall here is just a typical foundation wall. Okay, nothing fancy about it. But these are stepped walls, and I've got. I'll show you this one. It's a stacked wall, and I'll go in and show you how it's built. What you do is you take an existing exterior wall and you build a stacked wall using existing exterior wall. So this is my exterior brick on wood stud with no gypboard. Okay, and I set my height to 8'11", which is pretty much what comes off of the plans. From the wall section, it says 8 foot 9.5 inch panel height, and I add 1.5 inches for the sill plate, so that gives me 8'11". And in the foundation portion, this is just a concrete foundation wall with insulation on the interior. Okay, and I made its height variable because that's the one that's going to be changing mostly. I just went with it like that. Okay, and then when I put it in place back here, I just had to play with it enough until I could get the right sizes. Okay, so it took a few tries of working with it, getting my constraints set on the thing, and I ended up having to, in order to get my dimensioning, because we got frame wall brick and then concrete below it. That's not what I wanted to do. I had to change my my view range. Oh, I don't want the wall. Here we go. A lot of times I'm having to toggle back and forth between making my cutting plane like a negative value to get it down into the concrete where I can actually see these walls and dimension the concrete portion. Okay. Now I want to, in this corner here, if you look at the left side elevation and the rear elevation, you can see some steps there. And I'm going to show you how to do those. And they're already going to be done, but I'm going to show you how I did them. Okay. And I'm going to go, this one, let's see. Oh, I got to slide up. I got a base offset of -2, 3.5. Okay, and now because these are stepped coming across in this corner, I can't just drag this one over and edit the profile. It doesn't quite work that way. So let's put in a new wall here. Okay, and I'm actually going to do two sections of it, and I'm going to do it kind of weird like. And I want the dimension to the end of it. It's going to make that activate dimension 4'4", and I'll kind of explain that as I'm going through it. Okay, now then, this had a base offset of -2, 3.5. -2 foot, 3.5. Something went wrong. Okay, so I got the bottom of it down where it needs to be. So let's drag this section back and look at that. I think that's section 2. Yeah, okay, so is that right? No, here we go. Okay, so there's the wall I just put in. There's the wall behind it. Okay. Now let's do an alignment. Let's go back to my section and align these. Oop, come on. Okay. Now I've got to play with this because I need it to be the same top height as that one, which first floor minus 10 inches. Okay, so I want the top to be the same, but when I look at my elevation drawing, I can see it steps up a little bit, and looking at it with my scale, it's not quite 4 feet. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, okay. So I want to say 2 feet that it's actually going up. So what I have to do is I have to break this wall. Because it's a stack wall, I can select it, right click and go break up. And now I can edit these things individually. And so this one, I want to the top of it, I want it to be an additional 2 feet taller than it is. So I'm going to change that to 4 feet 6. Okay, and it's going to bump into the other wall. So let's go back to my section. Did it? No. Okay, so the bottom is still good. And so what I have to do is I have to change the height of my top wall. Now then, a problem with this is once you break a stacked wall, is they're no longer together on top of each other. So I have to come back and constrain them with an alignment. Wall base the core. And if you notice, I'm working on the interior side of the core. Okay, so let's go back to my footing. Okay, so that's looking good. My elevation. So that